Shalom, shalom. In today's video, we will be discussing aspects of the fifth world, Ayin, Ayin Sof, and Ayin Sof Or. That being said, let us begin. Now, Ayin means without, and it is without all formation and all creation and all action before all things. And what's important to understand about Ayin is that it rearranges to spell Ani. And you will find this later in the word Adonai, which is the name of Hashem given to Malkuth. And we know that Kether is enclosed in the end in Malkuth. So, Ayin represents the realm of principality. And principality are the principles to creation even prior to any existence itself. Now, what is this like? It has been demonstrated in my prior videos regarding the principles of the cross. For those who are wishing to learn more about these aspects, I will leave a link in the description below to a video that will cover all of these principles in their depth, and then you can better understand this concept here. In this realm exists the original word, because that original word is the Zimzum, the constriction of that world, which is in the world of Ayin. And when nothing desired to become something, that desire, which is outside yet within of itself, was a vessel by which was to be filled by that upper light. And that vessel was the word and the letters. And this is the secret of all of the letters beginning with the point of Yud, representing the constriction. And so these principles, as has been demonstrated, Aleph separates Mem from Shin. As has been demonstrated, the air houses the water houses the air. And many other principles. As has been demonstrated, every eye in existence will see covering of light upon solids. The mouth will take in solids and liquids. And the eyes and the mouth will be found in the skull. So on and so forth. These principles existed in the Ayin, in the nothing. The colors, yellow mixing with red to create orange, yellow mixing with blue to create green, and the same likeness as Aleph separates Mem from Shin. All of these principles existed inside of the Ayin. And when the Ayin, which cannot be fathomed, constricted itself into that point had within itself all of the letters. And those letters, which were in that point, were the original sequence. And that sequence were the base principles for everything that would come afterwards. Then he split that original sequence backs and fronts. And when they were split backs and fronts, it was known as Ayin Sof. Regarding this extreme mystery that was just revealed, it says in Emek Hamalek in Gate Aleph, it states that he tied the beginnings with the ends, that they would be Ayin Sof. This is in reference to the letters. And he tied them together, the beginnings with the ends, and then they were new. And at this point, this new form was in the form of backs and fronts, whereas they stated they were back to back. This is clearly seen when we analyze the 231 gates, which is seen here. And as was stated, there were now two sequences, and the Sefer Yetzirah informs us Aleph with every letter and every letter with Aleph, as is demonstrated. But at the end of the sequence, mainly after the Tav, so this would be Aleph Gimel to Tav, Aleph Dalet to Tav, Aleph Hey to Tav, etc. There is a second sequence that is building from this point, the point of Beit, forward, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yod, Kaf, etc. And it does it when it's Beit for every letter, and the sequence begins again. Aleph, Aleph, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, etc. And it does it again. And we see the breaking point here in Bina, where the sequence resets. And we see the breaking is at 2 points here. And then, of course, 3 points. So the shattering of the vessels were in effect by design. But of course, it continues Vav with every letter with Vav. And it does this for all of the letters, which are the 231 gates. And as you can see, they are the backs and fronts of all the Sefirot. This is Partsuf, Chokmah, Achor, back. And it is with all the gates. So the final gate, of course, will be Tav, which is Partsuf, Malkuth, back. And now, what does this mean? It means that at this point, there were two sequences. And this is the secret of what the Mishnah opens up, and it says, when Israel arose in thought. Israel being rearranged to say Yesh, Relah, Resh, Lamed, Aleph, which it means is 231, or is 231 gates, arose in thought, referring to the worlds of Atziluth and Beriah. It's referring to the gates, which would go on to create the worlds of Atziluth, Beriah, Yetzirah, and Asiya. Because before an essence can be placed in something, a vessel has to first be formed. But before the vessel, of course, exists, the essence exists. And that essence is clothed within another vessel. And it is all the way to the beginning. So the original sequence, which had all of the principles inside of it, were back and front. And they were split, and as it is written in Gate Aleph, you tied the beginnings with the ends, that they would be Ayin Sof. And when this occurred, we have our world of points. Like this. So it went from the point of Ayin, and then its constriction. And now we find ourselves in Ayin Sof, in the vessels, which were the reflection of that constriction. And now we're in the world of points, and this is the world of vessels, because these vessels would be the circular aspects of all the worlds. Now you must also understand that this is in the points of an essence as well, because though these are vessels, these vessels enclose an essence that is also of the worlds. And it has been explained that there are 9 vowels and they have Sephirithic attributes. Minus Kametz and Pitak, which they themselves do not have any points. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 13 vowel notes for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Sephirot. This is also in the secret of the 7 sparks. And we see that there are 13 points. And these 13 points, if counted each as a yud, has a gematria of 130, which is the value ayin in the secret of the eye, in which indeed this is. And in the secret of 13, which is in the secret of the beard, which it indeed is. So, now that we have established the mystery of ayin, which is the mystery of the highest world, the world of principles, and we've established the world of vessels, which would be our Ein Sof, and we've identified that Ein Sof is keyed by stating he tied the beginnings with the ends, that they'd be Ein Sof. So therefore we know that this is reference to the gates. And we know that the gates were originally written in a circular aspect. And we know that this is in the mystery of the constriction in its vessels. And we know that the gates are the secret of the worlds, and it has been demonstrated as such. Let us go on to Ein Sof Or. And here we have Ein Sof Or. Now this is called Ein Sof Or because Ein Sof has a gematrial value of Or, which is 207. Aleph is 1, Yod is 10, Nun is 50, Samek is 60, Vav is 6, and Fe is 80. And then the gematria value of Or is Aleph is 1, Vav is 6, and Resh is 200, and so that's 207. So they have the same gematria value, indicating to us that they're linked. And Ein Sof is the Or, and the Or is the light, and the light is the 231 gates. Now the 231 gates here is drawn in a circular aspect, and this is Aleph with every letter with Aleph, Beit with every letter with Beit, Gimel with every letter with Gimel, Dalet with every letter with Dalet. We'll go into some secret aspects about what these gates look like and reveal some higher mysteries about these three and how they're connected as well. Now, it has been demonstrated that Ayin is the Kether of Otik, and Ein Sof is the Hokmah of Otik, and that the Ein Sof Or is the Bina. And it has been demonstrated that the 231 gates, which is in the mystery of a tree on top of a tree, and this is the 231 gates, Partsuf, Aleph is Keter, and Tav is Malkuth, etc., etc., etc. It's been demonstrated the mystery of Kaf's link to Lamed, which is identified in Emek HaMelech as Kaf is Malkuth, Lamed is Kether, here. Partsuf Malkuth, Kaf, and then it says right here, Partsuf Kether, Lamed. So Kaf's Partsuf is Malkuth, as has been demonstrated, and it is identified as the front side, and here it is identified as the back side of Kether, as has been explained here. The link to Malkuth, which is identified by letter Kaf, to the back side of Lamed, as has been explained here. And we have learned that this is in the mystery of the brain. Every brain will have two lobes, and the lobes of the brain will be in the image of these two trees because it's in the image of this Partsuf, which is at a back-to-back phase. Although later it would be a tree on top of a tree, as is the sod of that he will be ruler over you. Right? So let us analyze some of the more intricate mysteries regarding this. So we've learned that the original Sephirot, and when they were written out in terms of the 231 gates, meaning he tied the beginnings with the ends, this has been demonstrated, what we find is that they were all originally written in a circular aspect. And this circular aspect looked like this. And what's important to understand about the circular aspect is that it creates, at its breaking points, it creates a Fibonacci sequence. And if you look at a picture of the Milky Way, it will indeed mirror this image, as will be explained by this Partsuf and demonstrated here. And so we've learned in the mystery of Ayin that its constriction point was the original word. And I did not reveal, though, is that original word is a concealed individual. And his name is Atika Kadisha, the ancient holy one, the Kadosh. And if you guys would like to know the mystery of this Atika Kadisha, leave a comment below and I can do that. But with that being said, minus this mystery, let us continue. We've learned that the constriction of the original letters, which was the word, created the world of points, which was called the Ein Sof. And Sof means end. And we've learned this was the mystery of the Nikudim. And this is the sod, this is the secret of everything in the largest aspects being circular, planets, universes, galaxies circular, and everything small and micro, atoms, etc., be circular as well. But everything in between will be linear. And we see the constriction of the point and the 231 gates in all possibility, because they are in two-letter combinations, Aleph with every letter with Aleph, which represents the presence of everything and the definition of everything. We've learned that every brain in existence will come in the image of the lobes, because the lobes are the 231 gates, which are the condensing point of the Bina of Otik, as has been expressed. And this is all in the mystery of the eye. For the eye will be white on its most outer aspects. It will draw colors of the vessel on its more inner aspect, and its central aspect will be black and condensed. And so as we look into any individual's eye, you'll see white, and you'll see color, which is the mystery of the vessels, which was the light that constricted itself, and you'll see black. So with that being said, this concludes our explanations of the fifth world, the principles of creation. Again, a link will be in the description below if you would like to get into the mysteries of that. And we've learned the world of points, which is the world of vessels of the Sephirot. We've learned that they were attached to colors and vibrational frequencies and octaves, which are the essences. And we've learned the constriction, which is the spectrum of possibility. And we've learned the mystery of the gates. That being said, shalom and sabah.